Welcome back, everyone. It's October 29th, 2024.
Oh,
And today,
it is, yeah.
we're going to be taking a deep dive into October 30th.
Okay.
But
Sounds good.
there's a little twist.
All right.
We're going to be using an Arabic Wikipedia entry as our guide.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's always fascinating to see how, other cultures and other parts of the world kind of mark these dates.
Yeah,
It gives us a chance to maybe see some events and figures that we wouldn't normally encounter.
exactly. It's like a whole new perspective on history, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So where do we even begin with a date that spans centuries? I mean,
Well, we could go way back. How about 1340?
okay,
The Battle of Rio
it's the
Salada?
Battle of Rio Salado.
Yeah, a real turning point. A clash that kind of had ripple effects across the Iberian Peninsula for centuries.
Really? Wow. Okay, so set the scene for us. What was at stake here in this battle?
Well, imagine a peninsula where Muslim and Christian kingdoms, right, have been vying for power
Hmm.
for centuries. And this battle, right, a decisive victory
Okay.
for the Christian forces of Castile. It really marked a turning point. It wasn't just about one battle.
Right.
It signaled the beginning of the decline of Muslim rule in that whole region.
So this wasn't just a clash of armies. It was a clash of cultures
Absolutely.
and religions with long-lasting consequences.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Think about Spain, Portugal today, the cultural and political landscape. I mean, in many ways, you can still feel the echoes of that victory,
Yeah.
that shifting of power.
It's amazing to think about. One battle shaping the course of history.
It really is.
This is already so interesting.
We're just getting started.
Okay.
Let's jump ahead 4 centuries
Why?
to 1759,
Okay.
to a very different kind of event. Massive earthquake that
Mhm.
struck the Galilee region.
Earthquakes, they're a stark reminder of nature's power.
Well, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
what do we know about this particular earthquake?
Well, it had its epicenter right between the Sea of Galilee and
Yeah.
Hula Valley.
Yeah.
We're talking about a region where, cities like Safed, Tiberias, Acre, Sidon, thrive.
These are cities rich in history and culture, and to think that they were just devastated by such a force. I mean, it must have been terrifying.
It must have been, yeah. I mean, the potential loss of life,
Yeah.
the long-term impact on the region, it's hard to even fathom.
It's a reminder that we're all connected, not just through time, but through these shared experiences,
Wow.
even the devastating ones.
Absolutely.
Speaking of devastating events, let's talk about the Shiraz blood libel in 1910.
Oh, yeah. This one's
A much darker chapter.
a much darker chapter of history, yeah.
So, what happened there?
Well, it was this violent attack against the Jewish community in Shiraz, Iran,
Yeah.
and it all stemmed from a blood libel accusations.
Yeah.
Totally baseless and horrific claim.
Yeah.
It's been used to incite violence against Jewish communities throughout history.
It's hard to even grasp the kind of hatred and prejudice
Yeah.
that would fuel such an accusation.
Yeah, it really speaks to the dangers of misinformation and how fear can be manipulated to justify just horrific acts.
Absolutely. It's a sobering reminder of how much work we still have to do
Mm-hmm.
to build a world free from such hatred.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let's shift gears to something a bit more, a brighter moment in history.
Okay,
October 30th, 1928,
right.
the day the UK experienced its first ever television broadcast.
Wow, talk about a technological leap forward, right?
I know. I mean,
It's hard to imagine the world without television now.
I can only imagine the excitement and wonder that people must have felt seeing images flicker to life on a screen for the first time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like opening a window to a whole new world, right?
Yeah. And think about the impact it's had, on society.
Yeah.
I mean, from the way we consume news and information to how we experience culture and entertainment, it's been this constant force of evolution.
It's pretty remarkable how rapidly technology can reshape our lives.
It really is.
Okay, now back to a more complex and unsettling time in history. 1953, the height of the Cold War, and President Eisenhower's decision to expand the U.S. nuclear arsenal.
Yeah, this decision really speaks to the anxieties of the Cold War, a time when the world was just like teetering on the brink of nuclear annihilation.
Yeah.
And the idea of mutually assured destruction, or MAD-D, became a chilling reality.
MAD-D. That's a pretty stark acronym. I think a lot of people might not even grasp what it entails.
It's the idea that if one superpower launched a nuclear attack, the other would retaliate.
Right.
And it would result in the destruction of both.
Yeah.
And this terrifying logic, it really shaped strategic thinking and international relations throughout the Cold War, and its echoes are still felt today.
I think it's a good reminder of just how high the stakes were during that era.
For sure.
The fact that we managed to avoid nuclear war is both remarkable and a little bit of a miracle.
Absolutely.
Speaking of high-stakes situations, let's fast forward to 1995 and the Quebec referendum.
Oh, yeah.
This was a moment when Canada nearly fractured.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this referendum where Quebec very nearly voted to secede from Canada, it really exposed deep divisions within the country.
Yeah.
And it came down to the wire. Like, the final tally was incredibly close. 50.6% to 49.4%.
Wow, that close.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think that the map of North America could look so different today if that vote had swung the other way.
It really highlights the complexities of national unity, especially in a country as diverse as Canada.
Right.
And, the factors that fueled that Quebec nationalism, they're still relevant today.
Yeah, it's a reminder that history isn't just about the past. It's about understanding these forces that continue to shape the world today.
Absolutely.
Speaking of shaping the world, let's talk about the release of Osama bin Laden's video message in 2004. This was a chilling reminder of the events that had shaken the world just a few years earlier.
Yeah, this video where bin Laden attempted to justify the 9/11 attacks, I mean, it really had a profound impact on global politics. It fueled the war on terror and shaped the geopolitical landscape in ways that, we're still dealing with today.
It's a stark reminder of how a single act of terrorism can reverberate across borders and generations.
For sure.
This deep dive is really taking us on a roller coaster ride through history.
It is, yeah.
We've got moments of technological triumph to those that expose the darkest aspects of humanity.
It's all part of the story.
Right.
And we're not done yet. Next up, we have Hurricane Sandy in 2012, a natural disaster that left a devastating mark on the U.S. and Canada.
Hurricane Sandy, I mean, with the tragic death toll of at least 86 people.
Right.
It was one of those events that reminds us of the power of nature.
Yeah, for sure.
And the importance of preparedness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it raises some questions, about the increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather and the role of climate change, in these disasters. Right.
I mean, Hurricane Sandy, it wasn't just a storm.
Right.
It was a wake-up call.
Yeah, I mean, a wake-up call to reevaluate our relationship with the planet and the choices that we make that impact our environment.
Yeah.
Speaking of forces beyond our control, in 2020, a powerful earthquake struck the Aegean Sea.
Oh, right.
Impacting both Turkey and Greece.
Yeah. This earthquake caused, significant damage and casualties.
Yeah.
Particularly in the Turkish city of Izmir. And it really underscores the need for robust building codes, disaster mitigation efforts, especially in these regions that are prone to seismic activity.
It's a sobering reminder that we can't always predict or prevent these events, but we can certainly take steps to try to minimize the impact.
Absolutely.
Okay, now for a more recent event that shook the political landscape.
Right.
Lula da Silva's victory in the 2022 Brazilian presidential election.
Oh, yeah. This was a major shift in power.
Right, for sure. Lula's victory, defeating the incumbent Jair Bolsonaro, it marked a dramatic turn in Brazilian politics.
Yeah.
And I think it reflects these broader trends of populism and political polarization, that we're seeing not just in Latin America, but around the world.
It's fascinating to see how events on a single date, October 30th, can be so interconnected with global trends and the shifting tides of political power. So far, we've journeyed through centuries, witnessed battles and natural disasters, explored technological advancements and political upheavals. And we haven't even touched on the notable birthdays and deaths yet.
It's remarkable, isn't it? A single day can hold such a wealth of history. I mean, it's like a tapestry woven with, triumphs and tragedies, innovations and conflicts. I mean, every thread, every event contributes to the grand narrative of human experience.
I love that. It's awe-inspiring, really.
Oh, it is.
And on that note, let's dive into the lives of some of these remarkable individuals who were born on October 30th.
Sounds good.
I'm talking about figures like John Adams, Diego Maradona, Ezra Pound, and even Ivanka Trump. Quite a diverse group.
It is, yeah. I mean, each of these individuals from different corners of the world, different walks of life, I mean, they've left their own unique mark on history,
Yeah.
And their stories are really a testament to just the vast spectrum of human achievement, ambition, and influence.
It's almost like a cosmic coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
That all of these individuals born on the same day
Yeah.
go on to lead such different yet impactful lives.
It really makes you wonder, you know, about the role of fate and circumstance in shaping our destinies.
Right, right.
But let's not get too philosophical just yet. Let's start with the life of a man who played a pivotal role in the founding of the United States.
Who's a god?
John Adams. Yeah, John Adams, born in 1735.
Okay.
A man of sharp intellect and unwavering principles, you know. Not just a revolutionary, but a lawyer, diplomat, prolific writer. I mean, his diaries and letters give us this amazing glimpse into the minds of those founding fathers, you know.
It's like we can step back in time and hear their voices, their debates, their struggles as they forge this new nation.
Right.
What kind of world did John Adams grow up in?
Well, imagine a time when the United States didn't even exist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was born into the British colony of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So he saw firsthand these growing tensions between the colonists and the British crown, tensions that would eventually erupt into revolution.
And amidst all that turmoil, Adams emerges as this key figure in the fight for independence.
He was a staunch advocate for independence.
Right.
He believed passionately in liberty, self-governance, the rule of law, you know, ideas that really formed the bedrock of the American experiment.
But what I find so interesting about him is that he wasn't afraid to challenge conventional thinking.
Right.
You know, I mean, he even defended the British soldiers involved in the Boston Massacre.
Yeah,
which was a deeply unpopular move.
That was a bold move, especially during such a heated and polarized time.
Right. What drove him to do that?
I think it was a deep commitment to justice, even when it meant going against the tide of public opinion, you know? He understood the importance of a fair trial, even for those who were considered enemies of the state.
It really speaks to his character.
Yeah.
His integrity.
Absolutely.
He wasn't just swept up in the fervor of the revolution.
Right.
He was a man of principle.
Yeah, he stood by his convictions.
And of course, we can't talk about John Adams without mentioning his role in drafting the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, of course, yeah. That document, it wasn't just a list of grievances.
Right.
It was this bold declaration of universal principles, you know? It inspired revolutions and movements for freedom around the globe.
It's a testament to the power of ideas.
Yeah.
To change the world. And the courage of those who dared to stand up for those ideas, even when the outcome was uncertain.
Yeah, I mean, after independence was won, Adams served as the first vice president and then the second president of the United States.
Yep.
His presidency was marked by challenges,
right,
both domestic and international, you know. He had to navigate the treacherous waters of early American politics, facing fierce opposition from rival factions.
It must have been an incredibly tumultuous time to lead this young nation.
Yeah, still finding its footing on the world stage. But, you know, through it all, he remained steadfast in his commitment to building a strong and enduring nation.
So from shaping a nation
Right.
to shaping the world of sports, let's move from the political arena to the football pitch, shall we?
Let's do it.
From John Adams to Diego Maradona.
Oh, another figure who commanded attention.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he sparked both admiration and controversy.
Ah.
Yeah. Born on the same date as Adams, but in 1960. Maradona's story is one of incredible talent and, you know, personal struggles. He grew up in poverty in Argentina,
Right.
but rose to international fame.
Right.
Thanks to his just extraordinary football skills.
He's a magician with the ball.
He was.
Capable of feats that defied logic and left audiences just breathless.
I mean, what's fascinating is how he transcended sport.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he became a cultural icon, a symbol of hope and pride for Argentina, a country that had endured so much political turmoil and economic hardship.
His performance in the 1986 World Cup, especially that quarterfinal match against England, really cemented his place in football legend.
The hand of God goal, right.
Yeah.
And then that incredible solo goal, just pure genius.
Absolutely. Those moments on the field became part of football folklore,
Yeah,
etched in the memories of fans worldwide.
right.
But his life off the field was much more complex.
It was, yeah. His struggles with addiction,
Right.
his often controversial behavior, it really cast a shadow over his brilliance.
I mean, it's a testament to the complexities of human nature, right?
Yeah.
The struggle between genius and self-destruction.
It's a reminder that even those we place on pedestals
Right.
are ultimately human, you know?
with all the strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift gears once again, this time to the world of literature.
Okay.
Ezra Pound, the American poet and critic,
Right.
also born on October 30th, 1885.
Okay.
A literary giant, but also a highly controversial figure due to his fascist sympathies.
Yeah.
I mean, his story raises a lot of complex questions, doesn't it? About the relationship between art and politics.
It does. Can we separate the artist from their art? It's a debate that's still going on today. I mean, Pound was a key figure in the modernist movement,
Okay.
pushing the boundaries of poetry,
Right.
challenging traditional forms,
Right.
His influence on 20th century literature is undeniable.
Right.
But his support for Mussolini's fascist regime during World War II,
Yeah.
it cast a long shadow over his legacy.
It's a reminder that even the most brilliant minds
Yeah.
can be seduced by dangerous ideologies.
It is. It's a sobering thought. And Pound's work is still studied and admired. But, his political beliefs are a stain on his reputation.
It's a difficult balance, acknowledging the contributions,
Right.
but also confronting the harmful aspects of a person's life and beliefs.
For sure.
From the complexities of the past to a figure who embodies the complexities of the present.
Okay.
Ivanka Trump, born in 1981,
Right.
the daughter of a prominent businessman turned president. She's been in the public eye from a young age.
Yeah.
And her role in her father's administration as an advisor just further blurred those lines
It did.
between family, business, and politics.
Right. What's interesting is how her story reflects this changing nature of fame and influence in the 21st century. Social media plays such a huge role in shaping public perception these days.
Right.
And, Ivanka Trump has been both prized and criticized for her use of those platforms.
It's a reminder that in today's world, personal lives and public personas
Yeah.
are so often intertwined.
Especially for those in positions of power or influence.
Right. It raises the question of how we navigate those complexities.
Yeah, how do we reconcile the public and private lives
Right.
of these figures?
Right.
Who hold sway in our society?
It's a question with no easy answers.
It is.
Especially in this era of heightened scrutiny
Mm-hmm.
and instant communication.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's step back from individual lives and return to the broader sweep of history.
Okay.
One event that stands out on October 30th, 1991 is the Madrid Conference. This was a pivotal moment in the quest for peace in the Middle East.
Oh, the Madrid Conference. Yeah, it brought together representatives from Israel, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine, in this effort to resolve that long-standing Arab-Israeli conflict.
It didn't lead to a comprehensive peace agreement, but it marked a significant shift.
It did,
Right.
for sure, yeah. I mean, it opened up lines of communication, laid the groundwork for future negotiations.
I mean, just getting all those parties to sit down at the same table,
Yeah.
to acknowledge each other's existence,
Right.
begin a dialogue.
Absolutely. The Madrid Conference really highlighted those complexities of peacemaking and the need for, ongoing dialogue and compromise, It underscored the importance of international cooperation in addressing these global conflicts.
It's a reminder that even small steps toward peace can have a ripple effect.
They can.
Right. Paving the way for future progress.
Absolutely.
Okay. From the complexities of peace negotiations to the raw power of nature.
Okay.
Let's talk about the formation of Hurricane Beta in the Caribbean Sea on October 30th, 2005.
Oh, yeah. Hurricane Beta. Yeah, this was a powerful storm, caused significant damage.
Hurricanes are a stark reminder of nature's destructive force.
They are, yeah. And, the increasing frequency and intensity of hurricanes in recent years, it raises those concerns about climate change, right?
Yeah.
And scientists are really digging into this complex relationship between, warming ocean temperatures and hurricane formation.
I mean, and those findings have significant implications for coastal communities
Oh, huge implications.
around the world.
Yeah. We can't ignore the potential consequences
Yes.
of a changing climate.
Right,
Oh,
okay. On a lighter note,
Right.
let's talk about something that brought joy to millions.
Okay.
The release of the iconic video game,
Okay.
Command and Conquer, Red Alert, on October 30th, 1996.
Yes. I remember spending countless hours playing that game.
It was a real-time strategy game that really captured imaginations of players worldwide.
It was that alternate history storyline,
Yeah.
the over-the-top characters, and the just addictive gameplay. I mean, it was an instant classic.
Yeah, it's fascinating how a video game can reimagine history,
Right.
blending entertainment with elements of the past.
I mean, Red Alert did that,
Yeah.
It offered this unique and humorous perspective on the Cold War. Right.
A conflict that had real-world consequences,
Yeah.
but was also ripe for satire and reinterpretation.
And speaking of satire and reinterpretation, we can't forget the release of Borat, Cultural Learnings of America for Make-Benefit, Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan,
Oh, yeah.
on October 27th, 2006.
Oh, yes. Sacha Baron Cohen.
I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen's mockumentary comedy
Oh, it pushed the boundaries.
pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Cohen's brand of humor is definitely provocative,
Right.
but it also forces us to confront these, uncomfortable truths
Yeah.
about ourselves and the world around us,
Right.
I mean, Borat exposed prejudices and hypocrisies
Mm-hmm.
in a way that traditional comedy often doesn't.
Right. It's a reminder that humor can be a powerful tool
Oh,
for
absolutely.
social commentary,
Yeah.
challenging assumptions,
Right.
making
Yeah.
us think critically.
It can be a catalyst for change,
Yeah.
prompting us to question the status quo,
Right.
engage in these meaningful conversations
Mhm.
about important issues.
From battles and political upheavals to the release of groundbreaking video games
Why?
and controversial comedies, October 30th has proven to be a date filled with such a diverse tapestry of events
It has.
that have shaped our world.
Yeah, we've seen how events on this single day have impacted everything from the political landscape to the evolution of technology and culture.
And now, as we move into the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
we turn our attention to those who left this world on October 30th.
Right.
Individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and intrigue us.
Yeah. One figure that stands out is Jean-Henri Dunant,
Okay.
the Swiss humanitarian who founded the Red Cross. Dunant's story, I mean, it's really a testament to the power of compassion
Yeah.
and the impact that one person can have on the world,
So let's take a step back in time to the mid-19th century.
Okay.
What was it about this period that kind of shaped Dunant's path?
Well, Dunant was a successful businessman
Okay.
when he witnessed the horrors of war firsthand.
At the Battle of Solferino in 1859,
Right.
and the sheer scale of the carnage and suffering,
Yeah.
it really affected him deeply.
It's one thing to read about war in the papers,
Right.
but to actually see the aftermath of such a brutal battle up close,
Right.
I mean, it must have been a truly harrowing experience.
It was a turning point in his life.
Yeah.
And, what's striking is that he wasn't a doctor or a soldier.
Right.
He was just an ordinary citizen who refused to ignore the suffering he saw.
Yeah, he organized local villagers
He did.
to help care for the wounded, regardless of which side they fought for.
Exactly.
I mean, that's remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, in the midst of this conflict, he saw beyond the divisions,
Right.
And recognized this shared humanity of
Yeah.
all those who were suffering.
So his actions at Solferino were just the beginning.
Oh, yeah, they were just the start. I mean, inspired by his experiences, he wrote a book called A Memory of Solferino, and it vividly described the battle's aftermath. And, really called for the creation of these neutral relief societies to help wounded soldiers in times of war.
There was like a call to action, right?
Yeah, a plea for a more humane approach to warfare.
And it resonated with people
Oh, yeah,
across Europe.
it did. It galvanized support, and in 1863,
Okay.
the International Committee of the Red Cross was founded,
Wow.
based on those principles of neutrality,
Mhm.
impartiality, and humanity.
It's amazing to think that one man's vision, born out of this tragic event,
Yeah.
could lead to the creation of an organization
Yeah.
that has had such a profound impact on the world.
I mean, the Red Cross, it's evolved into this global movement,
Right.
providing assistance to victims of war, natural disasters, and other crises all over the planet.
I mean, and his work was recognized in the most profound way.
It was.
In 1901, Dunant was awarded the first ever Nobel Peace Prize.
What a fitting tribute. Right.
Yeah, I mean, to a man who dedicated his life to alleviating suffering and promoting peace. So from a pioneer of humanitarian aid to a pioneer of anthropological thought,
Okay.
let's turn our attention to Claude Lévi-Strauss,
Oh, yeah.
the renowned French anthropologist who passed away on this date in 2009.
All right.
He is considered one of the most influential anthropologists of the 20th century.
Yeah, his work really revolutionized our understanding of culture and society.
What were some of his key ideas?
Well, Levi-Strauss was a pioneer of structural anthropology,
Okay.
this school of thought that examines the underlying structures of human thought and culture.
Okay.
And he argued that seemingly diverse cultures,
Yeah.
actually share these common patterns and structures, even if they express themselves in different ways.
So beneath the surface differences,
Yeah,
there are universal patterns
right.
that connect us all.
That's the idea.
It's a fascinating concept.
His most famous work, The Elementary Structures of Kinship, explored those universal patterns
Right.
of marriage and kinship systems
Uh-huh.
across cultures. And he didn't just focus on the biological ties,
Right.
but the social and cultural significance
Okay.
of these systems.
Yeah, it's like he was decoding the hidden language of culture, uncovering the deeper meanings behind our social structures.
Exactly. His work really challenged traditional anthropological thinking
Right.
and expanded our understanding of just how diverse and complex human cultures really are.
And his ideas continue to influence a lot of fields,
They do.
ranging from, well, anthropology and sociology to even literature and philosophy.
Oh, absolutely.
It's incredible how the work of individuals like Dunant and Levi-Strauss, though vastly different in focus,
Right.
has had such a lasting impact on the world.
They have.
From humanitarian aid
Mm-hmm.
to our understanding of culture,
Yeah,
their contributions continue to shape our lives today.
they do.
As we wrap up this deep dive into October 30th, it's striking to reflect on the wide range of events and individuals we've discussed.
It is.
I mean, we've journeyed through centuries, witnessing both the best and worst of humanity.
It's all part of the story.
And we've seen how a single day can hold so much history. From battles that changed the course of empires to the birth of ideas that transformed our understanding of the world.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And we've explored the lives of these fascinating figures,
Mm-hmm.
both celebrated and controversial,
Right.
who've left their mark on history.
For sure.
And through it all, I think we've seen that enduring power of human resilience,
We have.
compassion,
Yeah,
and innovation.
for sure.
It's a reminder that even amidst chaos and uncertainty of history, there is always hope,
Yeah,
always the potential for positive change.
absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into October 30th.
It's been a pleasure.
We've only scratched the surface of the stories this date holds.
Yeah.
But we hope it's inspired you to keep exploring, keep
Mhm.
learning, and keep asking questions. Until next time, stay curious.